Welcome back. Thank you for joining us on Daybreak. Now we'll move straight ahead to our phone-in segment. Now, as Nigeria heads towards the 2027 general elections, political temperatures are already rising, and with them, questions about the neutrality of our public institutions. In recent weeks, there have been allegations that certain government agencies, from anti-graft bodies to regulatory commissions, are being used not just for governance, but as political weapons against perceived opponents. For the average Nigerian, this isn't just politics at the top. It trickles down to everyday life. Now imagine you run a small business and suddenly a government agency shuts you down over a minor infraction right after you spoke out against a local official. Or picture a civil servant who loses their job because they were seen at an opposition rally. These are not just headlines. They are personal stories of livelihoods disrupted, reputations damaged, and trust eroded. This is not a new conversation. Now, in past election circles, we've seen accusations that agencies like the EFCC, ICPC, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, and even the police or DSS have targeted political figures, often those in opposition, with sudden investigations, raids, or arrests. Now, critics say these amounts to weaponizing state institutions for political advantage, while supporters insist these agencies are simply doing their jobs. For example, ahead of the 2015 elections, several PDP chieftains complained of selective investigations. In 2019, APC opponents made similar claims, citing security clampdowns during campaign rallies, and already in the build-up to 2027, some high-profile opposition politicians have been summoned or charged, sparking debate about whether due process is being followed or whether political strategy is at play. So what does this mean for democracy? Can public confidence in these agencies survive if they are seen as political tools? And most importantly, what safeguards are needed to ensure they remain impartial, serving the people, not a party? This morning, we're opening our phone lines to hear from you. Do you think government agencies are being weaponized ahead of 2027? Or do you believe they are simply enforcing the law without fear or favor? The conversation starts now. You can call us on the number displayed on your screen. You can also send us a WhatsApp message and share your thoughts. This is where we look forward to hearing from you, our viewers. Hauwa?
Well, these kinds of allegations have sparked a lot of, talks and controversies. And when it comes to it, for the people to feel like these institutions are being used by the government, it is absolutely, wrong, and it can go left as well in the way the people view the government, in the way the people view the institution as well, because at the end of the day, Nigerians need to feel safe and need to know that they can be protected by those institutions. All right, we have our first caller. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Hauwa. Good morning, Maimuna. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Trust TV. This is Shetima Kutima calling from Daybreak.
Good morning, Shetima.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us, as always.
Thank you.
What is your take on this issue?
Of course, this is obvious because we have seen so many incidences. And the recent one is that journalist, that his arm was broke, and that what they call it, Bello, the one that is a teacher in China. So I don't know. This using government agencies as a weapon, it will not help to the matters. All what you will do to gain popularity or to gain support is for you to run justice. For you to run justice, show fairness, show equity to all citizens in the country. Don't be selective. This selective is the one that causing all these problems. And you cannot force somebody to give you support. You can gain his support by being nice to him, being good to him. If at all the constituency that he was in was beneficiary in the work that you are doing, why can he not give you support? He will give you support. But in a situation whereby you'll be using government agencies to champion support, this one will not work. Honestly speaking, whether you like it or not, you will create more enemies for yourself. And one more thing is that if at all you don't want people to criticize you, be nice, be good, touch the life of each and every citizen in the country. I know it is difficult, but it is easy when the power lies on your hand. But in a situation whereby you have been so cruel, so tyrant to the society, how do you expect to say that everyone will love you? It will not work that way. You cannot champion support from the people after you have been so tyrant, you have been so wicked, you are not nice to the people. People that will never love you. And I sometimes what people are saying is not critics. It is exactly what you are doing that they talk on it. It is not critics. You see, whatever they said about it, it is true, but it will not be sound nice on your hearing. So you turn it other way around. But it will not work that way. And honestly speaking, you see, if people criticize you, critics, good critics, it will help you to correct what you are doing. Critics are friends; they are not an enemy. And people are telling you what you are doing is wrong. You should try and adjust. You have to correct all the wrongs that you are doing. If you look at it that way, a critic somebody, if at all the critic is genuine, it's a friend, it's not an enemy. Because he's showing you your lapses, your shortcomings for you to overcome it, so that you can become nice man and you can champion the support of the people. And what some people are saying is exactly what your action is doing. It is just like it's just like if you hold a mirror, somebody is looking his image. If you don't want that his image, let him change. Let him change. That's the only thing that we are calling for them. We the citizens, we know the way we have been experiencing life. So that life we just need it to be reasonable. And we know the country has a means to correct our life, but nothing is changing. Every day things are getting worse and worse. We must cry on it. And if you cry, they say you have criticized them, or you have said, what you have said is true. They need to change. Thank you so much and have a nice day.
All right, thank you so much, Shatima, for that. You could see and understand he made a couple of examples when it comes to, people that are intimidated or have been intimidated when it comes to speaking on what is going on. There are lots of, journalists as well that have been harassed and intimidated as well. There have been journalists in Sokoto as well that had, went through a lot when it came to it, and it had to come to a point where, due to the public outcry, that was when, she was released and all of that. All right, we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, how are you?
We're doing fine, thank you. What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Musa Bala, I'm calling you from Kaduna.
All right, thank you for joining us. What is your take on this issue?
Yes, my take is that it's sad that we find ourselves in this kind of situation where openly government are using government agency as a weapon against what those that are perceived to be against them or are in the opposition. There are many instances, but let me quickly give you three. Sorry, the first one is we just saw how EFCC arrested former governor of Sokoto State, Tambuwal, and going by what was unfolding, what was going on between Tambuwal and the government, there were allegations that Tambuwal was invited to join government and he refused, and this followed his arrest. It is clearly political, and the EFCC have been used now as a political weapon against those who don't agree with the government. And in democracy, there's no government in the whole world that expects everybody to agree with the government. That's the beauty of democracy. Whenever they are wrong, there must be people that will tell them the truth of the matter. So we condemn the arrest, and we are calling on the government to ensure that whatever action they take must reflect the yearning of the people and respect to the rule of law. Another government agency that was recently being used against the people is the NYSC. We have seen how an innocent lady in Lagos State who criticized the government was denied her certificate of completion of service after she has been threatened by another person in the NYC area. This is just too bad. The government cannot demean itself so low that even an NYC copper that have just finished her service, the government can also descend themselves to that level. It's so unfortunate. And if you can see what happened last 2 or 3 days in our airport, I can say that the aviation ministry has also been used now, because we saw a musician that interrupted an aircraft from taking off. And the report shows that he even poured the content of what they are preventing from going to the aircraft on some of these airport staff, and even on the pilot that came down to ensure that he's okay. We never hear of his arrest. And another unfortunate thing happened with the Aqua Airborne airline. All we hear now is that the lady in the case has been remanded in Kirikiri prison. The other person that did the first assault was reported to have been very close with the president. And we have not heard of his arrest or detention. This is a kind of thing that we suddenly find ourselves in this country. It's so unfortunate that the government can come out or descend so low to be showing favoritism, using government agencies to attack those they perceive are not with them. Not everybody cannot be with them. There must be people that will tell them you are wrong or you are doing what is not legal. And it must go that way. The government cannot shut down everybody. So I'm calling on all government people or officials that their first allegiance is to the country, not to the person in power. It's to the country. They ensure that where they are forced to violate the law, they have to resist it. It's legal when you resist not violating the law. So it's unfortunate. It is true there are so many instances that one can give you, but for the sake of time, I know other people are waiting to call. These 3 instances I gave you are surely clear example where government are violating the law. And please, can I talk about one of your headlines?
All right, go ahead.
Okay, about the out of court settlement with the radio station in Niger State. I'm calling, since government Niger State have agreed out of court settlement, it's an admission of guilt. They know that they are wrong. So I'm advising the owner of the radio station, in conjunction with the media association or the journalism, whatever, that they should do a concrete agreement. I'm suggesting the government must pay for all damages, all lost revenue, and at the same time, government must publish apology to in almost all the media outfit in Nigeria to ensure that journalists are given free hand to do their work according to the dictates of the law of the land. For government to not say that, okay, out of court settlement, that also done to that Badegi radio is a confrontation to our survival, it's a confrontation to democracy, and it's a confrontation to freedom of speech. I want to call on the media homes and the Nigerian Union of Journalists to ensure that we know the end of this case. Let government pay compensation fully, let them pay for the lost revenue, and let them apologize. That's my own take. Good morning and God bless Trust TV.
All right, thank you very much for that. That was quite an elaborate take and a lot of opinion. And Maimuna, what do you think?
You know, there have been, wide criticism from Nigerians, not just even, just citizens alone, even politicians have come out to say that ruling parties, make use of government institutions to winch hunt. We've heard that word, countless times when it comes to things like this. And it's really sad because these institutions, were were created to, either regulate, crimes in our country, or, put in right rules and regulations in which people would follow. But when our politicians or people in power decide to use these institutions to go after people that have criticized their government, it just shows that
for their own vendetta.
For their own vindictive, exactly. It just shows that it has always been their interest first and not mine. Because like the last caller said, and also Shetima, criticism, it's it's a way to go. Once you're a leader, people will definitely criticize you. It's
Absolutely.
not left for you to take it in a positive light and see how to make that criticism, turn it into doing the right thing at the end of the day. But it's so unfortunate that what we see these days is, people using these institutions to chase after people that have criticized them.
Let's take our next caller. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. What is your name and where you're calling from?
Daniel.
All right, good morning, Daniel. Thank you for joining us. What is your take on this issue?
Yes, 2027 politics. Are government agencies being recognized? Yes, it has been there. These days, I will not talk long today. These days, what you people will be feeling, both in state and federal, all the boards, the parastatals, the ministries, those sets of agencies, if you are not for us, they will remove you from that place. It's a normal thing, just because of election. You will see a situation where a governor will decide to remove or to suspend a sitting permanent secretary because he will give them marching order, go and deliver. If you are not going to be able to do, they will remove you. If you belong to opposition in a state or in federal level, if you are not with the government, there's an adage that said, he who pays the viper dictates the tune. That's it in politics. It's a normal thing. So those people in government, all those government agencies, some of us that are civil servants, we have to be careful with this period. Because what we see, our actions, their data boys are around. They'll be picking it to them. So it will affect us. It will not surprise that we hear that they sack this director, or they sack this, they suspend this permanent secretary, or they remove some people from Peru. It's a normal thing. So I'm calling us, the civil servants, please, this is their time. We should be very careful. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Daniel, for that. With, what is going on, you would think that we are not in a democracy. You would think that we do not have freedom of speech. But when you look at it and you look at the cases that are going on just, right in front of Daily Trust, we can see that EFCC detained Tambuwal. And that in itself, a lot of speculation saying that because they are not on the same page and because they have been some scuttle, so that is why, they're witch hunting him. A lot of people with the radio station in Niger State, the Badegi radio station. A lot of people on social media, as aforementioned, with the NYSC, co-member, exactly. And even from the beginning, as she came out and lamented about the condition of the country, automatically she came out again and complained that she's been, threatened and witch hunted as well. And now, due to the fact with, the end of her service year, apparently her certificate has not been issued to her. And according to the NYC, it's just due to,
they said
an
she's
oversight.
According to them, they said she's skipped, I think one of her clearance, and so she's meant to take
an extension of 2 months increase on her service.
And then she is saying it's not so. But honestly, it's really alarming.
Let's hear from our next caller. Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Yes, what is your name?
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. What is your name? And I'm doing fine, thank you. How are you doing?
Well, everybody is fine. I want to contribute to what you are saying.
Yes, please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm also Friday Martinez from Boy State.
All right, good morning, thank you.
Go
ahead.
Thank you. What you are saying is what is killing our democracy in Nigeria. Because if you look at the defection, every governor wants the government to use government agencies
to return him or her. Because it's killing our democracy, because everybody wants to be on the side of the ruling class. That is why you see people defecting to a ruling party. Because if you are not a ruling party, you may use what is called federal might to remove you during a electoral period. They can use their force, they can use their executive agencies to remove you. That's why some governors are just taking to where the government agency will be used to return and again is that if you look at what is happening in Nigeria, when you are in the ruling party, you will not be probed. No, agency will be or other agencies will be respecting you because you're already in the ruling party, and that's what killing our democracy. That's why everybody is carpeting, and that's why there's nothing like a political ideology in Nigeria. If somewhere like America where there are Democrats and Republicans, you now say in your party because that's what your party is known for. And whether you are not even taking whether you broke or not. What you need is that ideological politics. But in Nigeria, what they are playing is the politics of going to where you will not be probed after your own tenure. Going to where you will be returned, will be used, the government nationality will be used to return you. Then that's all about it. And if you don't amend it, we continue to have a shallow democracy. Our government cannot mature because everybody is trying to go where you see somebody in every state. If the federal level, the person will now move to that place. If we see some of you, the party does not win it, then they will now come back to do where they are 1-1. That is what is killing our democracy. It's killing our, and if we are continuing like this, you can't grow. That is my own contribution.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that take. There have been a lot of instances. Well, and at this point, I would go with, the words of President Bola Tinubu in his speech, during the June 12th celebration. And he was like, every leader should expect criticism. But then at the end of the day, if you do expect criticism, it only depends on, how you take it and what you do with it.
Absolutely.
Decipher it and take what is important. Because at the end of the day, you definitely need to hear from the people's opinion, and, the perspective of the impact that you have on them is very important as well. It shapes you as a leader as well.
Absolutely. We have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling in. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Thank you very much, Hauwa and Maimuna. Beautiful morning to you. You are on to SND calling from Lagos.
Thank you for calling in. Please kindly share your thoughts.
Thank you very much. The topic 2027 politics, government agencies being recognized. The answer is, it's for it, one way or the other. To be honest with you, if really we continue this way, we are not going anywhere. And then also, we as electorate, believe in me, we contribute in this manner. You ask me what? For instance, as a Nigerian, you want to acquire a passport. You don't need any personality or to call anybody, whether you know anybody from passport office before you go and acquire a passport. Why will you ask or look for somebody who knows somebody before you go to the passport office after when that agency, that institution was established to serve you as a Nigerian? Must you know somebody before you go and acquire passport? That's on our side. And secondly, you will agree with me, sometimes the public service officers contribute to this learning. Why? Because they don't want to get out of their position. Let me be honest with you. For instance, as a journalist, disguise yourself. Went to a hospital and a TB-lapidated facility. Try and see the CMD, asking him, I want to discuss with you to know where about all this and this. He will tell you, please, allow me, I'm about to retire, don't cause problem for me. So you see, sometimes we contribute to the menace of the society and we cannot continue this way. We cannot continue this way. You never mean. There are government agencies who they were established to promote government policy. Are they doing the work? For instance, we have National Orientation Agency. We have News Agency of Nigeria. We have Voice of Nigeria. We have Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria and the National Television Authority. These are the government agencies to at least communicate government policy to the mass. Are they doing that? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. So we need general societal reorientation. These agencies, in fact, the cardinal objective of each and every government is to protect life and property of its citizens. Not to work based on sentiment, not to work based on loyalty. So there is need to take things as equal, at least. And that if government wants to get the trust from the people, at least there should be just, there should be equity, there should be transparency, there should be accountability of each and every aspect of government, which we learn in our politics today. Thank God, the beauty of democracy is everybody is entitled in all opinions. So there is no way you can move forward without at least constructive criticism. So when somebody criticizes, for instance, something happened in Bagudu FM. Look at that. For instance, a journalist was getting beaten in Kano State. Who does that? So there is no way we can move forward. There is need to treat everyone. In fact, in the eyes of law, we are all equal. We are all equal. So this equality must be there. Justice must be there. Transparency and accountability must be there. Nigerians have the right to know what is going on in government. That is why we have the freedom of information. So please, I think I always mention there is no how we can reduce our nation. There is no how we can expect the international community to come and reduce our nation. Building a nation is a collective responsibility. Together we must do it. Whether you are in government, you are not in government, you are a private sector, whatever you are, as far as you are a Nigerian, you have to contribute your quota towards the nation building, one way or the other. Otherwise, we keep on remaining in this present predicament, which I don't pray for. Thank you very much. I remain SND from Lagos.
All right, thank you very much for that. As you said, rebuilding a nation is for the collective, not a singular person. Absolutely. All right, let us look at the WhatsApp messages that we have this morning. The first one is from Usman Santarai Kibeti from Jamaica in Yola. It says, good morning, Hauwa and Maimuna. With regards to your topic of today, it is true that some agencies are doing a hatchet job for the ruling party, thereby eroding the public confidence on the agencies like EFCC, because if they go after somebody nowadays, which is obvious, is a threat from the opposition. No doubt that these important agencies put in place to checkmate corruption are weaponized, especially with what the present administration is doing, clamping on opposition leaders just to weaken them, like the recent arrest of the former governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Waziri Tambuwal. All right, thank you very much, Usman Santuraki from Yola. All right, we have another one.
Yeah, we have another message from Nandi Bete, yes, from Ogojai, and he says, on 2027 politics, the politics of 2027 has relegated governance to the background. It is enthroning waves of bitterness in political circles in the country. See the EFCC doing selective arrest of opposition figures. Government agencies are awarding contracts that have no direct benefits to the ordinary people at outrageous sums, probably to show up campaign funds for 2027. Meanwhile, the hardship in the land rages on. This is unfortunate. Thank you, Nandi Bete from Ogoja, for sending in your message.
All right, next up, we have one from Ibrahim Ahmed in Yola. He says, Okowa, who left government after Tambulua, is walking free. The government should not continue on this road. The president himself has been in opposition all his career, so why is he wanting everyone to be in APC? The president has confirmed Oshomoli's assertion that when you join the APC, your sins are forgiven. God help the congregation. All right, thank you very much, Ibrahim Ahmed, for that.
Okay. We have another message from Akirile Henry, and it says, government agencies being weaponized in the context of the 2027 elections in Nigeria is a concerning issue. There are indications that insecurity is being used as a campaign rhetoric, with some politicians potentially exploiting security agencies for their own gain. The National Youth Service Corps NYC has also been accused of being weaponized, with some corps members facing disciplinary actions for expressing dissenting views online. This has led to concerns about the suppression of youth voices and the potential for further unrest in the lead up to the 2027 elections. Overall, while government agencies are designed to serve the public interest, there are concerns that they might be exploited for political purposes in the lead up to the 2027 elections. I think all this should stop to allow for free and fair elections in 2027.
All right, next up we have Mubarak Isa Bakar from Jos. He says, good morning. It's deeply concerning how the government agencies seem focused on distracting Nigerians from the critical issues bedeviling our nation instead of addressing urgent problems like economic hardship, insecurity, and systemic failures. We witness series of unnecessary arrests targeting citizens. This tactic only fuels resentment and erodes our public trust. That is from Mubarak Isa Abakar. Thank you so much, Mubarak Isa Abakar, for that. We appreciate all our callers, all the viewers. Thank you for giving us your take on this particular issue. As always, your voice matters on a Daybreak.